Hello, Verity Traders. This is our daily market recap. Let's see what happened in the markets. So on the news, stocks been rallying for the fourth session, the Dow leading. Gold has been hitting record high, and the traders are obviously waiting for the Fed meeting and big tech earnings. Dow outperformed, as we said. The S&P rose 0.5% and approaches $7,000 mark. Nasdaq advanced 0.44. Investors are obviously positioning ahead of Meta, Microsoft, Tesla, and Apple earnings. These are big tech earnings, and they're real market movers. So we really need to be careful on the decisions we take or we make before these earnings, because they could really change what's happening in the market, especially because this market is really news driven. Small cap were lagging. Russell 2000 was down 0.31% amid a sector rotation. Now, this is good news for who was with us and followed our trades and our watch list. USA Rare Earth soared over 20% because they secured $1.6 billion in US government funding. So if you guys were with us, and following our moves in the last days, you will be maybe well positioned for this one. It was a good one. Let's have a look now at our advancing and declining. As you can see, we had stocks rallying, right? We're going to check the charts soon. The S&P and the Nasdaq moving higher. But we have 53% of stocks that were actually declining and only 42% that were advancing. Now, this shows that there's been a little bit of sector rotation. Again, the move up was mainly driven by big names, tech stocks mainly before their earnings. So it's a bit of a mixed bag. 50 SMA, we have 60% of stocks above it and 39% below. That's definitely a bullish environment. Absolutely. But again, we need to see what's going to happen on Wednesday, because the Fed meeting and big tech earnings are all happening in the middle of the week, and that could really move the market in a way or another. So it looks like we're more preparing for a possible move up or down. Nobody knows, but let's see the charts. If you look at the S&P, it literally recovered Tuesday gap down. It's back and, around all-time highs. Again, volume is not that amazing. Definitely a kind of like consolidation pre-big news, Again, the big 10, 11 companies they have on their shoulders. Most of the S&P are pulling the market and they're moving higher. But again, it's not even around the sectors. Now we have a look at the Qs. The Qs didn't go anywhere. We've been talking many days about the fact that this is the area where the Qs keep staying. It didn't just recover as the S&P, the gap down on the Tuesday, and that's it. We're still back the same area. It was a recover, absolutely, but it's not really a big move. It didn't really go anywhere. We're still in this area. Volume also is not great. Again, we're just positioning before news. Then when the news come, then it's going to be a market mover. We look at the map with all our stocks in the broad market. You see the big names move higher. Nvidia didn't really participate, and Tesla was down. But Apple, the Google, semiconductor, the tech, Oracle, Microsoft, they're all up higher. In consumer defensive, the industrial, energy, healthcare, they were a little bit of a mixed bag, a bit of red, a bit of green. But again, these were the pockets of strength that we saw, right? While the rest of the tech sector was moving lower, these stocks were still performing pretty okay. In fact, in the equal weighted S&P 500, where all the stocks have the same weight, we have a different kind of chart. We have a bullish chart that now, though, has just a doji at the top. So again, the pockets of strength that we had before just stalling a little bit, and the big tech name moved higher. Is this going to continue? We don't know that, but we need to be aware that definitely something is cooking under the blanket. Something is happening. Again, is because this market is really news driven. So we're going to see what happens when this big company reports earning. The whole market is going to react. Now there's going to be a sector rotation out of this sectors inside this sector, and the tech rally is going to resume. We don't know that. We need to wait and see what happens. And the economic calendar, as we said, Wednesday we have the FOMC meeting, the federal funds rate. Again, this is not forecasted to do anything. I mean, no rate cuts. That's the forecast. We're still going to be at 375. That's what it's been forecasted. But again, I don't think this is going to be a big mover. More the press conference, as usual, is going to be a bigger mover, and the earnings. On the stocks to watch in our watch list, we don't have much just because we don't want to expose ourselves too much before this news events. Again, we react to what's happening in the market. We don't anticipate it. But if you want to add some stocks on your watch list, on the bull side, we have KView, Monster Energy, and Valero. These all stocks you can keep an eye on the bull side. And for the bears, mostly in the consumer cyclical sector, Xpeng, Chewy, and Caesars. Let's see what happens this week. We can position better. For the moment, just stay safe, take responsibility for your trade, and remember, we're not giving financial advice here. It's just education. Thank you, and see you next time.